Hello you guys, and welcome to my 25 ways to level up your next dinner party. If you're new here and you don't know, I am so far deep into my hosting era, it is not even funny. Especially over on Instagram and TikTok. I just love posting dinner party content and bringing you guys along with how I get creative for any of my little hosting moments. So today I thought we'd bring that over to YouTube, and I've compiled a list of my top 25 ways to elevate your next dinner party. You definitely don't need to do all of these for your next dinner party. These are just kind of some thought starters, some jumping off points, because I just think the best dinner parties are, you know, personalized to you. Before we hop in, I did want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Etsy, which has been a dream partnership of mine for so long. It was on my 2024 goals list, but Etsy has been somewhere that for years now I've been getting so many of my hosting essentials, and I think it's just my go-to place for customizing, personalizing anything that I think can be those touches that really elevate your dinner party to the next level. So I'm going to be showing you guys some of my favorite Etsy items throughout this video that will all be linked below. So let's go ahead and hop in with number one, which is sending out an invitation. I feel like we do invitations for like big parties, like that's kind of a given, but I just think creating an invitation for a dinner party just makes it like feel so special. It really diversifies this as like a special occasion compared to just a casual dinner at your place. And where I get all of my invite templates is actually from Etsy. There are so many just digital downloads, and then you can customize it and you can print them, of course, and mail them out if you want to be real professional here, but I just take a screenshot and like to text them out, and I just think it's such a fun touch to build excitement before the dinner party even comes around. Next up, number two would be creating a custom dinner menu. I do this for almost every dinner party. I think, again, is just like such a touch that levels it up. I personally hold on to all of mine, which I think is just also like a nice souvenir. This is from our Greek dinner party. I really loved the menus from our recent pizza party that we did. Also, I love kind of just like the whimsical, like almost like handwritten doodle style ones, like this one that I used for a girl dinner party. And it goes without saying that I got all of these from Etsy. So that's just a very easy way to create a custom touch, and then I just print them at home, specifically on cardstock. Number three is creating a theme. You know, there are varying levels of how intense you could go with this, and this isn't something I do every time I host, but I found that when we do create a theme for the night, it does get people so much more excited. You like get to dress according to the theme. And I feel like any of those nights where I've really leaned into that just like serve as the strongest memories for me. For example, sometime this summer, I want to have an Amalfi Coast inspired dinner party. In the past, we did a Greek inspired one. We called it my big fat Greek dinner party. But another way you can incorporate this is just into the food alone. Like, you know, are we cooking Italian food? Is this going to be a summer inspired menu with fresh produce and bright flavors? Or are we going to go for a veggie forward, farm to table vegetarian feast for the night? Number four would be having a welcome drink, especially if I'm having a lot of people over who will inevitably be showing up at all different times. You know, I don't want my early guests to just be waiting around twiddling their thumbs. So I like getting creative with a little cocktail and calling it the house cocktail of the night, especially because this could be something that doesn't necessarily need to pair well with food, or that like you wouldn't want to drink with your meal, because I feel like a lot of the times with our food, we are just drinking wine. Number five, going with the same reasoning, would just be creating a little aperitif moment in a separate lounge area of the house. Or if you're in an apartment, maybe this takes place on your couch or like your living room or in your kitchen, compared to just at the dining table where you're gonna be eating. Especially if kind of I'm still gonna be cooking as guests arrive. I think just having a small hors d'oeuvre for people to snack on in case they arrived a bit hungrier is just a nice touch. And I think specifically doing this intentionally in a separate area of your home just helps to diversify the night versus sitting at the dining table the whole evening. I just think it allows, you know, the evening to flow. Number six would be leveling up your drinks with some custom barware, or just otherwise getting a little bit fancy with your drinks, whether it's adding in some edible glitter or elevated garnishes, or stamping the ice with a custom ice stamp. So this was actually a Christmas gift I got for Giselle a while ago, but she's always our bartender when we're hosting, so it's just like her little custom like bartender touch that, you know, she puts on the drink. Like, these are cocktails by Giselle. We also have some custom bar coasters. So these are what ours look like, but Etsy has so many different options, so many designs to choose from. And just as a general rule of thumb, I feel like putting a personalized touch on anything throughout the evening does impress your guests, but also it's just so fulfilling as the host to feel like, you know, I'm really making this a unique experience. Like, I'm really putting just my stamp on it, literally. Number seven is setting the table like a pro. This is something that can absolutely be learned, okay? It's a skill like anything else. So I've come up with a general checklist that I like to think through when setting my tables, and that is there element of structure? Is there a table runner or a placemat, or really just anything that is going to be filling some extra negative space on the table versus just having your dishes on the table just looking like they're floating around, you know? We want just like we want some structure to anchor those down. Next, you want to go for some dimension. So is there an element of height on the table? This could be a flower arrangement. This could be candlesticks, just really anything that's bringing your eye up at the table and not just having everything feel so flat. With candlesticks, Etsy sells so many different just beautiful creative candlestick options that you cannot just find at the store. Like these ones here behind me, I just thought the shape was so fun. I also just purchased these that have dried flowers rolled on the outside, and I just thought these are perfect for summer. Next, this is a not every single time for me, but generally speaking, I like to have an element of life on the table. So this could be greenery I'm using as a table runner. It could be, again, just floral arrangements. As you can tell, I have quite a large dining table behind me, so how I like to execute that is in using these really small bud vases that I spread out throughout the table and put a few flowers in each of those. That's also a very cost-effective hack that I've been sharing in my dinner parties under $100 over on Instagram. Number 4, which is a must in my book, is light. So again, that could go with the candlesticks, but I also have some tabletop rechargeable lamps that I feel like just like blend in. Like you don't really take note of them until they're on, and then you're like, oh, like that's actually providing so much light. It just helps with that like ambient lighting vibe. And number 5 is texture. So this could be a tablecloth. This could be just like a cloth napkin. There's so many fun napkins on Etsy that again, you just cannot get other places. So I just picked out this multicolor little 4-pack. I thought this would be so cute for just like some summer grilling. Like I feel like I never get very creative with that. So I just thought having like some colorful summery napkins would just be a fun touch. So I know that it's kind of a long list. I don't think you need to do all 5 of these every single time, but I think aiming for 3 to 4 will really create a visually pleasing and complex tablescape. Number 8, if you just want to keep things simple, or if maybe you're hosting on a budget, I can't emphasize enough the power of a good tablecloth. Just that with all of your plates and cups and everything, it just goes a long way. It just looks so clean and like you put in so much effort and you're good to go without all of the extras. So on Etsy, I actually just got this striped linen tablecloth that I thought was so cute. I don't have anything that's green, or, you know, I don't have many things in colors. So I really am trying to kind of branch out beyond my neutrals. Just a couple things I look for to make sure the pieces I'm investing in are going to last. First of all, looking for European flax, which is the highest quality linen. Then also I always make sure the dimensions of the tablecloth are going to be long enough to drape over, like ideally at least half of the leg of my table. If it can go all the way to the floor, even better. I just think the longer the tablecloth is flowing over the edge, the more luxurious it looks. Number 9, starting to get into food and just thinking about entertaining your guests. Any kind of DIY food station or just interactive cooking with your guests, I think makes the night so much fun. Like it's just fun as a guest to be able to get involved. And while most of the time I do just serve the meal right at the table, I feel like I have so many fun memories of having people over and making pasta from scratch, or setting up a cute taco bar with all of the toppings where everyone can just serve themselves. So again, there's a range of like how intense you want to go with that, but if you do incorporate it, I just think it really does help to add to kind of the entertainment or like serve as an activity for the evening. Number 10, also thinking of your guests, is to just incorporate anything personalized to your guests. So we've kind of talked a little bit about personalized touches as the host that I like to put in, but I love finding ways to show my guests that I was thinking of them as I was putting all this together. So for my birthday dinner, these are also from Etsy. It was another downloadable menu template, but I thought these were so cute because at the top you put the person's name. So this kind of doubles as a place card if you're wanting to plan out assigned seating. Another idea, one Friendsgiving, I had just like the name cards at everybody's plate, and on the back of them I wrote something I was thankful for about that friend, kind of going with the Thanksgiving vibe. Also with place cards, Etsy does sell a lot of like menu and place card bundles. So the pizza party menu I already showed also came with matching place cards, which is great for just having your theme be cohesive. That's just a little tip as well, is to look out for bundles when you're buying that type of stuff on Etsy. Overall, I just think something small and personalized like this shows your guests that you really curated this night with them in mind, because you did. Number 11, I touched on this a tiny bit, but I cannot emphasize enough the importance of ambient lighting. I feel like we all know this by now. Turn the overhead lights off. Okay, if it's not daylight, turn them off. I love using art lights in here, tabletop cordless lamps, just anything that sets the vibe, that like makes people feel comfortable. You want a cozy environment. You don't want to feel like a hospital, okay? Number 12 is to set the vibe of the evening, thinking through all 5 of your senses. So obviously the lighting, that is what your guests are seeing. The tablescape, we've gone through that. Going with scent, I like lighting a scented candle right by the door so that guests come in and immediately you're just like, you notice. I always curate a playlist that matches the energy I'm going for the evening. You know, if I'm feeling fancy, maybe we got some Frank Sinatra. If it's very casual, maybe it's just like a bunch of throwback songs. And then for just like touch and what you're feeling, I always just want to make sure I'm thinking through ways that people are going to be comfortable, whether, you know, maybe we're hosting something in the living room and everybody's not gonna fit on the couch. I love having floor cushions so that people can sit on the ground comfortably. If we're gonna be eating outside and it's gonna start getting chilly, I want to have heaters, you know. As for taste, you've obviously got that covered with the food and the drink, but I just like trying to think through all 5 of those things when preparing for people to arrive, and just like, you know, I want it to be a full sensory experience. So I think that those details go a long way. Number 13 is the plating. So, you know, I'm no private chef when it comes to actually plating things on specific dishes, but I think a hack there is just to serve your food on beautiful serving dishes. So I just got this one from Etsy that is a little olive oil plate. So if you're having some bread with your meal, I just think having this on the side is so cute. It is handmade. I'm pretty sure this was made locally in California as well. So that is just another thing I love about Etsy, is being able to support people and artists just local to my community or even around the world. It just feels so much more special. But another tip here is that instead of having people make their own plates in the kitchen and leaving all the food in there, I, again, going with wanting to fill the table, we like to set all of the food just throughout the table in the center so that it's, again, visually pleasing, but also it makes leftovers very easy because you can just, you know, sneak them on there. You don't even have to get up. Also from Etsy, for some regular plates, these on screen, I'll have a photo, are on my wish list. They are handmade again, and I just think these are so pretty. So I hope to one day be purchasing those. Number 14, I need to pick up the pace here, but that is signage. So I tread lightly into this because I think this can get a little too cheesy if you have too many words everywhere. But sometimes I think customizing a small bar menu and putting that in a frame to display by your drink station or your bar cart can just be a really elevated touch. This one is from Etsy, and if you have a setup where guests are gonna be making their own drinks, I think it's also great to have just a couple of recipes printed out so they're not left wondering like what to make, how to make it. An example of this is last year at our housewarming party, I put together this spritz station sign. So I just had all the ingredients out and everyone was able to serve themselves. Number 15, since it's summer, why not dine al fresco, aka outside if you did not know. Depending on where you live, I feel like the outdoors has so much natural beauty that can serve as free decor. I love additionally spicing things up by sometimes bringing some indoor furniture outside. So earlier in the year when I had a margarita themed party, I brought just a little entryway table and mirror outside that served as our dessert station. You could also move your bar cart outside. This year we invested in an outdoor bar cart, which has been really nice. But my one thing here is to make sure you are considering the evening temps if you're doing this. Again, here in Southern California, it gets chilly at night, so I think a fun touch here would be having just a little blanket draped over the back of everyone's chair, so that way when they start to get chilly, they can just cover up. Number 16, this one's getting into extra territory, but that is creating any kind of little take-home party favor. This could be as simple as a custom matchbox, which so many of our friends still talk about these. We created these at our housewarming party. For my upcoming Amalfi dinner party, I created these little like sweet treat, just acrylic customized boxes. So in here, I'm gonna put just like some lemon candies. Obviously, those are not actually from the Amalfi Coast, but you know, riffing on the lemon idea. Number 17 is creating drink pairings with different courses in your meals. You can flex your wine knowledge that I know I get straight from Google. I love doing Italian food so that I have any excuse to serve Amaro after dinner, just any kind of dessert wine. I'm just such an after dinner drink person. So being able to have that look intentional is just really fun. Number 18, if you are feeling fancy, I love finding ways to incorporate fine dining elements at home. Throw out the word amuse-bouche and people, you know, there's gonna be just a gasp. You could serve a palate cleanser in between courses and suddenly you got a Michelin star restaurant, you know? I just love recreating elements at home that are typically reserved for, you know, really expensive occasions out when it doesn't have to be that way at all at home. Number 19 is leveling up your flower arrangements. Just look up a little tutorial. All you need are a few tools, whether you're doing a tape grid on your vase or getting a flower frog. This is something I'm really trying to myself develop some more skills with. So while you can't go wrong with typical just symmetrical arrangements and a little glass vase, I've just been very inspired lately by these like asymmetrical garden, whimsical inspired arrangements. Stay tuned, we'll see if I master that. Number 20, we've touched on this a little, but I love incorporating touches that say something about you as the host, whether it is a custom item like those matches or the bar coasters. It doesn't have to say your name. Like I love these Please Leave by 9 cocktail napkins. That says something about me. It could be doing your favorite drink as the house cocktail for the night and writing like Morgan's favorite on the menu. Or maybe the dessert recipe is, you know, your grandma's secret recipe, like putting a little line about that on the menu. But like any good restaurant, your home is unique. So I just love finding ways to show that. Number 21, a random one here, seeing is most people will have to use the bathroom throughout the night. I love carrying the vibe over into the bathroom. So whether it is having a little speaker in there, like a good restaurant bathroom where they got the jams, you know, a candle, or I again love having these cordless lamps to just bring that ambient light so you don't have to have the overhead light on and go from like your vibey dinner into the bright bathroom. I feel like that's never fun. If you want to go the extra mile, you can even have a little bathroom amenities tray with, you know, gum, floss, like a stain remover in case anybody got something on their clothes. From Etsy, I really love it. This smells like the best toast ever candle. So this is something that is also on my wish list. Number 22, for leftovers, I love having these to-go boxes. Etsy has this 20 pack of eco-friendly craft to-go boxes, which I think is a great choice. This is just like more of a life hack for you because from experience, you may not want people taking your Tupperware because you may never see it again. Number 23, since your guests probably are not going to sprint out the door as soon as dinner is done, as the host, it's kind of your responsibility to think of some after dinner entertainment or just ways to keep the evening flowing so that people aren't bored, they're not antsy, they're not like wondering what they're gonna do next, or we're gonna sit at the table all night. So what I like to do here is move things to the living room and always have at least a game or two in mind. I feel like games are obviously the easiest option here, but if you wanna put in some more effort, you could do something so creative like a dessert cocktail mixology little mini course that you're leading, or a dessert wine tasting flight. Number 24 is capturing the night. So one of my favorite things about going all out for my dinner parties is just that, fortunately, since this is my job, I create so much content surrounding it that I always get to look back at like just what special memories I've had with friends at so many occasions in our own home. Like I think there's just something so special about making memories in your house. So one thing I sometimes like to do is putting out a couple of disposable cameras for everybody to snap some pics from their perspective throughout the evening. Alternatively, creating a little shared album so everyone can drop their iPhone photos is nice. And at the end of the day, hosting is obviously about bringing people together and creating those special memories with the most important people in your life. So while I do always try to be as present as possible, I always still want to put some effort into capturing those memories as well. And lastly, number 25, I feel like this is actually one of the most important things when it comes to minimizing your stress as a host, and that is let people contribute. Like with anything in life, you can only do so much on your own. I am so lucky to have Giselle, who is our, you know, comes up with the drinks, comes up with the food, is cooking most of the food. Like, but whether it's a side dish or lending some extra silverware if you're having a lot of people, or bringing a bottle of wine, like I found close friends that truly want to help. I'm someone that it's always my natural tendency to just say nothing, like just come enjoy. But I'm really learning how not only beneficial it is to you for your stress levels, also just how good it feels to be able to lean on those people around you. So I just think don't be afraid to delegate some responsibilities. My cart filled up. So that brings me to the end of this list. I'm gonna have all of these Etsy items linked in the description box if you guys would like to shop. Obviously there is so much more on Etsy that I cannot even begin to scratch the surface on. I feel like if you're looking for any kind of custom touch or quality, you know, dinnerware or hosting pieces, there's probably something that fits what you're looking for. So I really hope that you guys got at least one or two good ideas from this that maybe could inspire you at your next party. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more hosting inspo, make sure to head over to Instagram or TikTok, and I will see you guys in my next video.